You feel your belly burning, hungering, a famine for the word. You see the mountain coming, trembling. He's here to cleanse the world. Don't you know He stayed His hand, sheltered you right where you stand? Can't you see the mercy He gives to those who understand? So believe and obey, 'cause Yahuah will come again. Yes, believe and obey, and He will guide you in His hand. He's the Savior of the world, the Lion and Lamb. You see the waters parting, chariots are crushed beneath the waves, pillar of fire burning, bow before the Ancient of Days. Don't you know His ways are pure? That righteousness makes His way sure. Can't you feel the trials? Until the end you must endure. So believe and obey, 'cause Yahuah will come again. Yes, believe and obey, and He will guide you in His hand. He's the Savior of the world, the Lion and Lamb. And when I stumble, I will seek you evermore. It's your majesty I adore. And when it's dark out, I will look upon your face, standing firmly now for all your ways. And when it's dark out, I will seek you evermore. It's your majesty I adore. And when it's dark out, I will look upon your face, standing firmly now for all your ways. So believe and obey, 'cause Yahuah will come again. Yes, believe and obey, and He will guide you in His hand. He's the Savior of the world, Lion and Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb.
Shabbat Shalom. We're just gonna go ahead and get right to it, guys, because it's gonna take a minute once again. So bear with me. Let's go ahead and bow our heads and pray. Yahuah, I praise and esteem your name beyond high, beyond the mountains and the hills, beyond the heavens. Your name is the Most High and is from everlasting. And I thank you so much for guiding me through this very careful study that I have conducted. And I thank you for convicting me to speak on this truth. Soften the hearts of your faithful and lift their weary souls. Yahuah, you are my strength and you are my light. All your ways are good and true. Continue waking your people up, Abba, and lead them back to your ways. Show them the path to salvation. We love you, Yahuah Sabaoth. Hallelujah. And in Yahushua's name we pray. Amen. Alright, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Welcome to Torah Truth Fellowship of Yahushua. I am your host, Brianna, and this is part 15 and the series finale of Isaiah's message for the remnant. Last week, we covered chapter 64 and most of 65, which discussed more of the prayers and cries for mercy and the coming judgment and salvation to this earth. Who is going to be able to stand on that great and fearful day? And for time's sake, we cut chapter 65 short. We stopped at line 15. This week, we will pick up where we left off, beginning on line 16. But before that, we are going to quickly recap what we read last week, and then we'll also be diving into chapter 66, the final chapter of Isaiah. And this week, we'll discuss once again the humble and contrite in spirit and Yahuah's final judgment upon this earth. It has been such an honor and so much fun being able to conduct this very careful, line-by-line study with you guys. And don't forget that this is my last week before I take a brief break from YouTube. I'll be out for at least a month. I just need some extra time to spend with Yahuah and my family. Don't worry, you've not seen the last of me yet. And if you have not, go ahead and go and join my Facebook group. This is where you will find me during my break. I'll be taking this time to make my group page more of a learning tool for you guys. So stay up to date with me there and see how I'm going to do that. And without further ado, let's go ahead and begin this final study. So, firstly, we are going to quickly recap what we read last week. We are going to quickly read Isaiah lines 1 through 15, just so we can remember that the context that we are reading in. Isaiah 65 lines 1 through 15. I am sought of them that asked not for me. I am found of them that sought me not. I said, behold me, unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walks in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts, a people that provokes me to anger continually to my face, that sacrifices in the gardens, and burns incense upon altars of brick, which remain among the graves, and lodge in the mountains, which eat swine's flesh, and the broth of abominable things is in their vessels, which say, stand by yourself, come not near to me, for I am holier than you. These are a smoke in my nose, and a fire that burns all the day. Behold, it is written before me, I will not keep silence, but will recompense, even recompense into their bosom, your iniquities, and the iniquities of your fathers together, says Yahuah, which have burned incense upon the mountains and blasphemed me upon the hills. Therefore will I measure their former work into their bosom. Thus says Yahuah, as the new wine is found in the cluster, and one says, destroy it not, for it is for a blessing is in it. So will I do for my servants' sakes, that I may not destroy them all. And I will bring forth a seed out of Yaakov and out of Yehudah, an inheritor of my mountains. And my elect shall inherit it, and my servants shall dwell therein. And Sharon shall be a fold for the flocks, and the valley of Achor a place for the herds to lie down. For my people that have sought me. But ye are they that forsake Yahuah, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for Gad, that furnish the drink offering unto many. Therefore I will number you to the sword, and ye shall all bow down to the slaughter. Because when I called, ye did not answer, and when I spoke, ye did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherein I delighted not. Therefore thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, my servants shall eat, and ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of the ruach. And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For Adonai Yahuah shall slay you, and call his servants by another name. Okay, so let's quickly recap. So this chapter, the beginning of this chapter, the Most High was speaking to physical Israel, and he was telling them how they are double-minded, and so were their fathers. They were sacrificing to Baal in the gardens and burning incense to him in their mountains, and then they were coming into the Most High's holy temple and polluting it. They were not truly repenting for their sins. They were just going back out and doing it again, and they thought, whatever, it's fine. I'll just go to the temple and I'll do a sin sacrifice and all will be well. Yah doesn't see me, it's whatever. They walked in a way that was according to their own thoughts, a way that wasn't good, teaching for doctrine the commandments of men, eating swine's flesh and the abominable things, and then acting holier than thou. Therefore Yahuah turned his face from them, and he established his covenant elsewhere, and he called them an evil family, the children of Esau. He said, you will be hungry, but my servants shall eat. You'll be thirsty, but my servants shall drink, and it will be a vexation for you. To see those who were not called his people to be called his people. Yahuah said he's going to slay them and call his servants by another name. And remember, a few weeks ago we read that on that day, the day of Yahuah, we shall get a new name. And then also in Revelation, it says when Yahushua returns, he will be bearing a name that no man knows. So let's go ahead and proceed and get into this. Moving forward to lines 16 through 18. Isaiah 65, 16 through 18. That he who blesses himself in the earth shall bless himself in the Yahuah of truth, and that he that swears in the earth shall swear by the Yahuah of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from my eyes. For behold, I create renewed heavens and a renewed earth, but the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. But ye be glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Yerushalayim a rejoicing, and her people a joy. So line 16 says that he who blesses himself in the earth shall bless himself in the Yahuah of truth, and he that swears in the earth shall swear by the Yahuah of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, because they are hid from my eyes. So this is the day that we are forever changed, and our iniquities are remembered no more. Paul talks about this in Hebrews 6, lines 17 through 18, wherein Elohim, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise that immutability. It took me a second. Let me start that over. Wherein Elohim, willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise the immutability of his counsel, confirmed it by an oath, that by two immutable things, in which it was impossible for Elohim to lie, we might have a strong consolation, who have fled for refuge to lay hold upon the hope set before us. So, Yah is willing to show the heirs of the promise, the seed of Abraham, Israel, the unchangeable things of his counsel, that he confirmed by an oath his covenant. He made it with Noah and Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, his promise of everlasting life in paradise, and those who flee in the time of trouble that is coming. And we're going to talk more about that later. Now, I don't believe in that rapture garbage that the church teaches. People aren't just going to poof and disappear. But I do believe that the Most High will hide his people away from the destruction. Trust in Yahuah and wait in hope of his coming salvation. Line 17. There's quite a bit to unpack here. Isaiah 65:17 says, For behold, I create renewed heavens and a renewed earth, and the former shall not be remembered, nor come into mind. Let's talk about this renewed heavens and renewed earth a little bit. Revelation 21, 1 through 8. And I saw a renewed heaven and a renewed earth. For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there were no more sea. And I, Yehochanan, saw the holy city. John, or Yehochanan, his Hebrew name, saw the holy city, renewed Yerushalayim, coming down from Elohim out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her man. And I heard a great voice out of heaven, saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Elohim is with men, and he will tabernacle with them, and they shall be his people, and Elohim himself shall be with them, and be their Elohim. And Elohim shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain, for the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, Behold, I make all things new. And he said unto me, Write, for these are true and faithful. And he said unto me, It is done. I am the Aleph and the Tav, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him that is an Arthrist. I'm not sure what that word is. Of the fountain of the water of life freely. So, some versions say new, but renewed, I personally feel, is the best fit, because it isn't some new thing. Adam and Eve were kicked out of the Garden of Eden. It was removed from them as part of the punishment, and it was removed from us too as part of the punishment, as part of the curse. This whole journey and the whole story, your entire Bible, the entire thing, the whole Bible tells, is all about getting back to the garden. So as you see, it isn't some new thing. It is the former thing, but restored. This whole journey is a journey of restoration, back to the natural order of things. The way that this world is right now, this is not how it was supposed to be. It is about bringing back the former glory of this world and of ourselves, what we were supposed to be too, as mankind. And we're going to read a couple more passages out of the book of Revelation. Revelation 13, 5 through 6. And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against Elohim, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. So, I'm not sure why I put this in here, but I must have had a reason. I don't remember, and I didn't remember when I typed this up either. But this is speaking about when the beast reveals himself, when Satan truly reveals himself in this earth, and he exercises every last bit of his power that he has left. Revelation 11, 1 through 5. And there was given to me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of Elohim, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto other nations. And the holy city shall they tread under foot 42 months. And I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 menorahs standing before the Elohim of this earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeds out of their mouth and devours their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. I remembered it after this. This is why I added the verse that we just read above in chapter 13, because I should have actually read this first. And we're going to dive deeper into this later as well. But this shows that the New Jerusalem is present on earth while other people are still alive outside of its gates. So we read just a minute ago that the beast is given power 42 months, right? And now we are reading, we see an angel gave John a rod, and he told him to measure the temple of Yahuah and the court of those where they worship him. But he said that the court that is without the temple, don't measure that. He said that court is outside of the temple, and he said it's for the other nations, the heathens. And remember, Revelation chapter 22 says that outside of its gates are the whoremongers and idolaters and those who love to make a lie. And the holy city shall tread underfoot during these 42 months. And then Yahuah will give power to his 2 witnesses, the 2 olive trees and the 2 menorahs, the 2 sticks prophecy, the house of Ephraim and the house of Judah becoming one. They will go out and prophesy in sackcloth during these 42 months. Now, if you remember, we talked about how before the very end of things, before Yah destroys the earth, people are given a final chance to understand and forsake their wicked ways. And we also discussed how in Isaiah, Yahuah talks about gathering his people to him and then sending them back out into the world like Yahushua did with the apostles. Where was I? Okay, his people will be sent out one last time to set his incense and sound the alarm. And this is going to happen while the beast is given his final hour of power. And no man will be given power over these people, and no man shall hurt them who go back out into the earth. Revelation 22, 1 through 5, and also lines 14 through 15. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb, in the midst of the street of it, and on the other side of the river was the tree of life, which bore 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of nations. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him, and they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there, and they shall need no candle, neither light of the sun, for Yahuah Elohim gives them light, and they shall reign forever and ever. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without are dogs, and sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loves and makes a lie. Now, let's talk more about the day that we are forever changed. We're going to be reading from the book of 2nd Baruch. This book was included in the 1611 KJV before it was removed. Both books of 1st and 2nd Baruch are extremely interesting, and I personally do consider them to be Yah-breathed. 2nd Baruch 51 lines 1 through 16. And it shall come to pass When that appointed day has gone by, that then shall the aspect of those who are condemned be afterwards changed, and the glory of those who are justified. For the aspect of those who now act wickedly shall become worse than it is, as they shall suffer torment. Also, for the glory of those who have now been justified in my Torah, who have had understanding in their life, and who have planted in their heart the root of wisdom, then their splendor shall be glorified in changes, and the form of their face shall be turned into the light of their beauty, that they may be able to acquire and receive the world which does not die, which is then promised to them. For over this, above all, shall those who come then lament that they rejected my Torah and stopped their ears, that they may not hear wisdom or receive understanding, when therefore they see those over whom they are now exalted. But who shall then be exalted and glorified more than they? They shall respectively be transformed, the latter into the splendor of angels, and the former shall yet more waste away in wonder at the visions and in beholding of the forms. For they shall first behold, and afterwards depart to be tormented. And give me just a moment, guys. Okay. Now that is actually very self-explanatory. I don't think I really need to give any further explanation on that, but I do want to talk about really quickly before we move on, why does Yah allow people to suffer? And for this, we are going to turn to the book of 2 Esdras. Oh, dang it. Hold on, guys. I lost my place. Okay. We're going to turn to the book of 2 Esdras. Right. 2 Esdras 6, lines 55 through 59. All this I have spoken before you, O Yahuah, because you made the world for our sakes. As for the other nations, which also come of Adam, you have said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and have likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falls from a vessel. And now, O Yahuah, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be Adonim over us, and to devour us. But we, your people, whom you have called your firstborn, your Yahid, who your fervent lover, are given into their hands. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world? How long shall this endure? So this here is Ezra asking the Most High about the other nations. He says, the other nations, which you say are also of the son of Adam, you said that they're nothing. They've become as a spittle to you. And behold, Yahuah, these heathen that you say are nothing, though, they've become rulers over us, and they devour us. But we, your people, who you have called your firstborn, and your beloved, Yahid, it means beloved, and you have given us into their hands. So if the world that we are living in now, is made for our sakes, then where is our inheritance? And how long shall this go on? And Yahuah answers Ezra in chapter 7. 2 Esdras 7, lines 1 through 27. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me nights before. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell you. And I said, Speak on, my Elohim. Then he said unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But the entrance were narrow, like a river. Who then could go up into the sea and look upon it to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? There is also another thing. A city is built and set upon a broad hill, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. And there is but one path between them, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? And I said, It is so, Adonai. Then he said unto me, Even so is also is Yasharel's portion, because for their sakes I made the world. But when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done. Then was decreed that now is done. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are few and evil, full of perils and very painful. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. If then they labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them. Now therefore, why disquiet yourself, seeing you are but a corruptible man? And why are you not moved, whereas you are but mortal? Why have you not considered in your mind this thing that is to come, rather than that which is present? Then I answered and said, O Yahuah Adonai, you have ordained in your Torah that the righteous should inherit these things, but the wicked should perish. Nevertheless, the righteous shall suffer straight things, and they hope for the wide. For they that have done wickedly have suffered straight things, and yet shall not see the wide. And he said unto me, There is no judge above Elohim, and none that has understanding above El Elyon. For there be many that perish in this life, because they despise the Torah of Elohim that is set before them. For Elohim has given straight commandment to such as came, what they should do to live, even as they came, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him, but spoke against him, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves by their wicked deeds, and said of El Elyon that he is not, and knew not his ways, but his Torah have they despised, and denied his covenants, and in his statutes they have not been faithful, and have not performed his works. And therefore, Ezra, for the empty are empty things, and for the full are the full things. Behold, the time shall come that these tokens which I have told you shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, and she coming forth shall be seen, that now is withdrawn from the earth, and whosoever is delivered from the foresaid evils shall see my wonders. So this is a parable, brothers and sisters. Give me just a moment. Okay, sorry. Okay, so this is a parable, brothers and sisters, about the path of righteousness and the road of destruction. Narrow is the path of righteousness, but broad is the road to destruction. So the Most High, he tells Ezra, the sea is a wide place, but the entrance is narrow, like a river. Who can rule the sea? If he came not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? And he says there's another thing. There's a city that's set upon a broad field, full of all the good things, and the entrance is narrow, and it's set in a dangerous place, where there is fire on the right hand, and on the left is deep water. And this is New Jerusalem he's speaking about, and there is one path between them, even fire and water, life and death. Sirach 15, lines 16 through 17. He has set fire and water before you. Stretch forth your hand unto whether you will. Before man is life and death, and whether him like shall be given him. And we know Deuteronomy 30 tells us that after Moshe wrote down all the blessings and curses, it says, He has set before you blessing and cursing, life and death. Therefore choose life. Obey his commandments. Anyways, so Yahuah says the path was so narrow that only one man could go up at once. He said, If I give an inheritance now, before man passes through all the dangers set before it, how shall I give it then? And Ezra says, O Yahuah, you have ordained your Torah so that the righteous should inherit these things, but the wicked should perish. And the righteous shall suffer straight things and hope for the wide, meaning the righteous shall suffer for his Torah's sake, for guarding his truth, and shall hope for wide, for eternal life in the New Jerusalem. And those who have done wickedly shall suffer for the straight things, but never see the wide. Now, if this isn't specifically calling out the double-minded, then I don't know what is. Those who say that they are his people, but they aren't. Those who come to us in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they're ravenous wolves. They shall suffer for a belief that they claim, but because they don't truly love him, they won't see the promise. They don't do it because they love him, and because they love him, and they do his Torah to boast about their works, or they say that they don't have to keep the law. Messiah did it for him. Their arrogance and also ignorance, lack of knowledge, is going to get them killed. Yahuah tells Ezra there is no judge above El Elyon, and that many shall perish because they despise his Torah. Many. And he said he gave them straight commandment, and what to do to live, and what they should observe to avoid punishment. But they were disobedient, and imagined vain things, and deceived themselves with wicked deeds. And they said of Yahuah, he isn't here, he doesn't see us. And they despised his Torah, and denied his covenant, and have not been faithful in his statutes, and have not performed his works. Therefore, Ezra, the empty things are empty, and the full things full. A time shall come that these tokens, which he told Ezra, he says, the time will come that they shall come to pass, and the bride shall appear, the remnant, us. We are the bride. Messiah is the bridegroom, and she is coming forth, and as she coming forth shall be seen, that is now withdrawn from the earth, the new Jerusalem appearing in the sky. And whosoever is delivered of the aforesaid evils shall see Yahuah's mighty wonders, those who come out of the great tribulation, having washed their robes in the blood of the Lamb. Matthew 7:13-14. Enter ye in at the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat, because narrow is the gate, and troublesome is the way which leads to life, and few there be that find it. I'm not a fan of the way they spoke sometimes. It's so confusing. Well, it's hard to speak. All right, moving on to line 18. Isaiah 65:18. But be ye glad and rejoice forever in that which I create. For behold, I create Yerushalayim a rejoicing, and her people a joy. All right, moving forward to lines 19-21. Isaiah 65:19-21. And I will rejoice in Yerushalayim, and joy in my people. And the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that has not fulfilled his days. The child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner, being 100 years old, shall be accursed. And they shall build a house, and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, and eat the fruit of them. Line 19. I will rejoice in Yerushalayim, and joy in my people, and the voice of weeping shall be no more heard in her, nor the voice of crying. Yahuah said on that day, he will wipe our tears away, and turn our sorrow and mourning into joy and gladness. Line 20. There shall be no more thence an infant of days, nor an old man that has not filled his days. For the child shall die 100 years old, but the sinner, being 100 years old, shall be accursed. So Paul speaks about this. Let's see what Paul says. Romans 2, lines 5-9. But after your hardness and But after your hardness and impotent heart, treasure up unto yourself wrath against the day of wrath, and revelation of the righteous judgment of Elohim, who will render to every man according to his deeds. To them who by patient continuance and well-doing seek for glory and honor and immortality, eternal life. But unto them that are contentious, and do not obey the truth, but obey unrighteousness, indignation and wrath, tribulation and anguish upon every soul of man that does evil, of the Yahudi first, and also of the other nations. So, but after your hardness and impotence, not feeling, and those of you who don't know or not aware, not good at vocabulary, being impotent means you don't feel shame or remorse. There's no shame in your game. So, but after your hardness and impotence against the day of Yahuah, because you think that your works alone will save you, Yahuah will render every man according to his deeds. Those who are patient and waited on him, they seek glory and honor and eternal life. But those who are contentious, those who like to strive and provoke people, they don't obey the truth. They are the rebels. They obey unrighteousness, indignation, wrath, tribulation, and anguish come upon every wicked soul. The Yahudi first, the Jews first, or if you remember in Revelation, it says those who say that they are Jews but are not. It says Yahushua will make them of the synagogue of Satan. And also the other nations that this will happen to as well. All who are in open rebellion against the Most High. Isaiah 3:11. Woe unto the wicked, it shall be ill with him, for the reward of his hand shall be given to him. line 21. Isaiah 65, 21. And they shall build houses and inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards and eat of the fruit of them. Remember, we read last week in Deuteronomy 30, the curses that come on those who don't obey the word. It says, you shall build a house, and another man lie in it. You shall plant a vineyard, and another eat the fruit, so on and so forth. But if they did hearken, and they did hear his voice, and do his commandments, Yahuah said that he would turn our captivity. All right, we are on to the last 4 lines of chapter 65, and then we will be moving into chapter 66. We are actually making pretty decent time tonight. All right. Isaiah 65, lines 22 through 25. They shall not build and another inhabit. They shall not plant and another eat. For as the days of a tree are the days of my people, and my elect shall long enjoy the work of their hands. They shall not labor in vain, nor bring forth trouble, for they are the seed of the blessed of Yahuah, and their offspring with them. And it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and the dust shall be the serpent's meat. And they shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, says Yahuah. I want to go over lines 24 and 25 before we move on. Line 24, and it shall come to pass that before they call, I will answer, and while they are yet speaking, I will hear. So let's break this down a little further. Daniel 10:12 says, Then he said unto me, Fear not, Daniel, for from the first day that you did set your heart to understand, and to chasten yourself before your Elohim, your words were heard, and I am come for your words. Yahuah told Daniel to not fear. From the day that he desired understanding in his heart and chastened himself, he clung to the Most High. His words were heard before Elohim. Remember last week we read some verses that talked about how the Torah was knowledge and understanding. Having knowledge and understanding is having the Torah written upon your heart and on your mind. Remember, brothers and sisters, Proverbs 28:9. He that turns away his ear from hearing the Torah, even his prayer shall be an abomination. In Psalms 32:5, I have acknowledged my sin unto you, and my iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto Yahuah, and you forgave the iniquity of my sin. Selah. We must acknowledge our iniquities, brothers and sisters, and the iniquities of our mothers and fathers before us. We must lay it all out there to the Most High. Is there addiction in your family? Greed, lust, idolatry? What are your generational curses? Anger, depression? Repent of all of your works, brothers and sisters, all of them. And do it with a humble and remorseful heart. It doesn't mean anything if you're not truly sorry. If someone you loved hurt you, would you accept their apology if you didn't feel like it was sincere? No, you would tell them that is a fake apology and you don't believe it. Then why do you think that Yahuah is going to be any different? He only forgives those who are truly sorry. He is a just and merciful Elohim. He loves his faithful servants, but he's not a doormat. Okay? You don't just get to walk all over him and think you're entitled to anything at all. That is not how any relationship in the entire world works. This isn't how we treat other people, and it most definitely isn't how we treat our Heavenly Father and our Creator. Isaiah 55:6. Seek ye Yahuah while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near. All right, line 25, and then we are moving forward. Isaiah 65:25. The wolf and the lamb shall feed together, and the lion shall eat straw like the bullock, and the dust shall be the serpent's meat, and they shall not hurt nor destroy all my holy mountain. In all my holy mountains, says Yahuah. Let's take a look at Isaiah 11:6-9. The wolf shall also dwell with the lamb, and the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion and the fatling together, and a little child shall lead them, and a cow and the bear shall feed. Their young ones shall lie down together, and the lion shall eat straw like the ox, and the sucking child shall play on the hole of the asp. And the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice's den. They shall not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth shall be full of the knowledge of Yahuah, as the waters cover the sea. Now, listen to what it says later in Isaiah 65:11. But ye are they that forsake Yahuah, that forget my holy mountain, that prepare a table for Gad, and that furnish the drink offering unto Meni. Remember, we established last week that table prepared for Gad was set up for devils, false Elohim, and they offer a drink to Meni, which is fate or good fortune, which they idolize. Remember, we read that last week, Isaiah 65:11. If you look at the, I believe it was the Septuagint version. If you look at the Septuagint version of Isaiah 65:11, it says that prepare a table, instead of saying that prepare a table for Gad, it says prepare a table for devils. All right. 1 Corinthians 6, lines 9 through 11. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor sodomim, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Elohim. As such were some of you, but ye are washed, but ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of Adonai Yahushua HaMashiach, and by the ruach of our Elohim. So through faith in Messiah, through acting like our Messiah and mimicking him, we are justified. Remember, the Hebrew word for faith, imuna, it is an action, hearing and doing. Don't just be hearers of the word, be doers as well. And then the ruach of Yahuah will be given to you. Revelation 14:1. And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And don't forget about the multitude also that is behind them, that we read about later in Revelation, of all nations, kindreds, and tongues, all with Yahuah's name written in their foreheads. And if you want to know how you get there, brothers and sisters, guard his commandments, observe his feast days, guard his Shabbat, observe his dietary laws, do the works, and do it because you love him, not because you feel forced to. This is where free will truly comes into play. It's your free will to serve him or not, yes. But it's also your choice to serve him because you truly love him with all your heart, mind, and soul. Or to serve him because you feel that you have to. Maybe you were forced to. Maybe you were scared into believing. Christianity is really good about that. They love to scare people into the faith. And faith based on fear and force is not much of faith at all. If you are forced to marry somebody, do you think that that's going to be a very good and loving marriage? No. Probably not. It's going to be a marriage full of resentment and rebellion, and most likely will lead to adultery. Or if you're scared or bullied into marrying someone, is that going to be a good marriage? No. Think of your relationship with Yahuah as a marriage. What does it take for a good, solid marriage? Love. True, unconditional, unwavering love. The kind of love that you feel for your children or your actual physical husband. This is the kind of energy that we should be giving to the Most High, to build a relationship on a solid foundation, a relationship that is found on love. All right, now we are moving into chapter 66, which discusses the final judgment and glory of Yahuah on this earth and the humble and contrite in spirit, beginning with lines 1 through 3. So, Isaiah 66, 1 through 3. Thus says Yahuah, the heavens are my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Oh, give me just a moment. I'm sorry. All right, the heavens are my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things has my hand made, and all those things have been, says Yahuah. But to this man But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite ruach, and trembles at my word. He that kills an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrifices a lamb, as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offers an oblation, as if he offered swine's blood. He that burns incense, as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delights in their abominations. We're going to go over lines 1 and 2 together. All right, thus says Yahuah, the heavens are my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? For all those things my hand made, and all those things have been, says Yahuah. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite ruach, and trembles at my word. Let's read something from the book of Acts. Remember last week I said that we would talk about the star that they made for their Elohim, the star of Moloch, or as we are about to see it called, Remphan. And we're going to look at what that star looks like as well. I will show you an example. So Acts 7:43 through 51. Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch, and the star of your Elohim Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babel. Our fathers had the tabernacle of witness in the wilderness, as he had appointed, speaking unto Moshe, that he should make it according to the fashion that he had seen, which also our fathers that came after brought in with Yahusha into the possession of the other nations, whom Elohim drove out before the face of our fathers, unto the days of David, who found favor before Elohim, and desired to find a tabernacle for the Elohim of Yaakov. But Shalamah built him a house. Howbeit El Elyon dwells not in temples made with hands. As said the prophet, heaven is my throne, and earth is my footstool. What house will ye build me, says Yahuah, or what is the place of my rest? Has not my hand made all these things? Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Ruach HaKodesh. As your fathers did, so do ye. They took up the tabernacle of Moloch. And as we established last week, Moloch is a demon, and the star of the Elohim, Remphan, whose image they made. So let's just go ahead really quickly. Let's look at this star of Remphan. Let me show you what happens when you go on Google and you just type in star of Remphan. Let me show you what comes up. Pretty interesting. Check this out. All right. So, I Googled Star of Remphan. Hold on. I'm going to turn it around for you. Check it out. You can see right up here in my search bar, I typed in Star of Remphan. Let's scroll down. Wow, check this one. Let's look at this one. Let's check it out. Wow. Do they not all look the same? The Star of Remphan, an 8-pointed star, said to be associated with the Roman god Saturn and possibly the Babylonian goddess Ishtar. Pentagram, 5-pointed star, and it represents, Pentecost, 50 days. The occult pentagram is an inverted 5-point star inside of a circle. And then here's what they try to say is the Star of David, 6-pointed star, used in many ancient cultures for decorative purposes, rarely held religious significance until recent history. Because it's not a Star of David. They are all connected. Look at this. Look at this. Star of David or Lucifer. Look at this. They're all the same. Brothers and sisters, Star of Remphan is in every religion. It's the star of Saturn, Lucifer, the morning star. All right. Back to where we were. Yahuah said he would scatter them beyond Babel. Their fathers had a tabernacle of witness out in the wilderness. He gave Moshe specific instructions on how to make, and their fathers built another one after Yahusha, the son of Nun, brought the children into Jericho. And then Solomon built Yahuah a tabernacle. And then all the days of David, they had a tabernacle. And Isaiah the prophet said, Elohim dwells not in temples made with hands. Heaven is his throne, and earth is his footstool. Has he not made all of these things, brothers and sisters? Yahuah says, what house will you build me, seeing as I created the heavens? And where is my rest, seeing as my hand fashioned the earth? Did I not make all of these things? Your hearts are uncircumcised, and your ears stiff-necked, closed off. Only hear what you want and disregard the rest. You resist the ruach HaKodesh, as did your fathers. 1 Corinthians 3, lines 16 through 17. Know ye not that ye are the temple of Elohim, and the ruach Elohim dwells in you? If any man defile the temple of Elohim, him shall Elohim destroy. For the temple of Elohim is holy, which temple are ye? We are called to be holy, brothers and sisters. So why do you want to defile your temple with unclean food and drunkenness and lust and jealousy and anger and pride, whatever it may be? It is hindering your connection with the Most High. 1 Corinthians 6:19. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the ruach HaKodesh, which is in you, which ye have of Elohim, and ye are not your own? You were bought for a price, brothers and sisters, and that price was our Messiah's life. He paid the price with his life so that you may be born again into a new creation. John 2:18 through 22. Then answered the Yahudim and said unto him, What sign show you unto us, seeing that you do these things? Yahushua answered and said unto them, Destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. Then said the Yahudim, 46 years was this temple in building, and you will rear it up in 3 days? But he spoke of the temple of his body. When therefore he was risen from the dead, his Talmudim remembered that he had said this unto them, and they believed the scripture and the word which Yahushua had said. His own disciples almost didn't understand. Oh, no, I'm sorry. He was talking to the Jews. But yeah, still though, even his own disciples, they almost missed what he was trying to say. But because they were learned in the scriptures, they remembered and they understood. And he told them to destroy the temple and that he would raise it back up in 3 days. And they said, it took 46 years to build that temple, and you're going to raise it up in 3 days? He was talking to the people of Judah. But his disciples, they remembered the scriptures and his words, and they understood that he wasn't talking about the physical temple. He was talking about his body being risen from the dead in 3 days. It made them believe him even more. He gave them sign after sign. This is also a great example of how Yahushua spoke in riddles. Remember, we talked about this, I think, maybe like a month back, I want to say, but how he didn't just speak in parables, he spoke in riddles as well. Jeremiah 7:1 through 14. The word that came unto Yirmiyahu from Yahuah, saying, Stand in the gate of Yahuah's house, and proclaim there this word, and say, Hear the word of Yahuah, all ye of Yehudah, that enter in at these gates to worship Yahuah. Thus says Yahuah Sabaoth, the Elohai of Yasharel, Amend your ways and your doings, and I will cause you to dwell in this place. Trust ye not in lying words, saying, The temple of Yahuah, the temple of Yahuah, the temple of Yahuah are these. For if ye thoroughly amend your ways and your doings, if ye thoroughly execute judgment between a man and his neighbor, if ye oppress not the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, and shed not innocent blood in this place, neither walk after other Elohim to your hurt, then I will cause you to dwell in this place, in the land that I gave to your fathers forever and ever. Behold, ye trust in lying words that cannot profit. Will ye steal, kill, and break wedlock, and swear falsely, and burn incense unto Baal, and walk after other Elohim, whom ye know not, and come and stand before me in this house, which is called by my name, and say, We are delivered to do all these abominations. Is this house, which is called by my name, become a den of robbers in your eyes? Behold, even I have seen it, says Yahuah. But go ye now unto my place, which was in Shiloh, where I set my name at the first, and see what I did to it for the wickedness of my people, Yasharel. And now, because ye have done all these works, says Yahuah, and I spoke unto you, rising up early and speaking, but ye heard not, and I called you, but ye answered not. Therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name, wherein ye trust, and unto the place which I gave to you and your fathers, as I have done in Shiloh. And also, 2 Esdras, oh crap, I did it again. Scrolling too slow. Okay, where am I at? Okay. 2 Esdras 15:24-27. Woe to them that sin, and guard not my commandments, says Yahuah. I will not spare them. Go your way, ye children, from the power, defile not my sanctuary. For Yahuah knows all them that sin against him, and therefore delivers he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them. For Elohim shall not deliver you, because ye have sinned against him. And next, let's look at Psalm 56:3-4. What time I am afraid, and I will trust in you. In Elohim I will praise his word. In Elohim I have put my trust. I will not fear what flesh can do unto me. And let's read all about the blessings as well. Let's read in Matthew 5:1-16. And seeing the multitudes, and he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his Talmudim came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in ruach, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit this earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Elohim. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of Elohim. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye, when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost his savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out, and to be trodden under foot of men. Ye are the light of the world, a city that is set on a hill that cannot be hid. Neither do men light a candle and put it under the bushel, but on a menorah, and it gives light unto all that are in the house. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works, and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Okay, and we're going to go over line 3 now. Isaiah 66:3. He that kills an ox as if he slew a man, he that sacrifices a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck, he that offers an oblation as if he offered swine's blood, he that burns incense as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delights in their abominations. So what does this mean? Let's begin in the book of 1 Samuel. 1 Samuel 15:22. And Shemuel said, Has Yahuah great delight in ascending smoke offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of Yahuah? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of the rams. It is better to obey Yahuah than it is to sacrifice rams, because they were living double lives. They were sacrificing the rams for a sin offering, and they were going back out and sinning and serving Baal. Psalms 40:6-8. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, but a body you have prepared me. Ascending smoke offering and sin offering have you not required. Then said I, Lo, I come in the rolls of the Sefer it is written of me. I delight to do your will, O Elohai. Yea, your Torah is within my heart. In Psalms 51:16-18, For you desire not sacrifice, else I would give it. You delight not in ascending smoke offering. The sacrifices of Elohim are a broken ruach, and a broken and contrite heart. O Elohim, you will not despise. Do good in your pleasure unto Sion. Build the walls of Yerushalayim. The sacrifices of Yahuah are being of a broken spirit, grieved for your actions and the actions of the world too. It hurts your heart to think about how many people reject him. I know it hurts mine. It hurts mine a lot to think about that. Do good in your pleasure, and Yahuah will do good in your pleasure to us, Yahuah, and build up the walls of Jerusalem. Remember, brothers and sisters, we are called lively stones in the New Jerusalem, foundation stones. Psalms 51 through 5 through 15. Gather my hahid, I forget how to say this one. It's like another word for saints. Together unto me, those that have cut a covenant with me by sacrifice, and the heavens shall declare his righteousness. For Elohim is judge himself, Selah. Hear, O my people, and I will speak. O Yasharel, and I will testify against you. I am Elohim, even your Elohim. I will not reprove you for your sacrifices or your ascending smoke offerings, to have been continually before me. I will take no bullock out of your house, nor he-goats out of your folds, for every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the fields are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for if the world is mine, and the fullness thereof, will I eat the flesh of bulls, or drink the blood of goats? Offer unto Elohim thanksgiving, and pay your vows unto El Elyon, and call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. Gather my I'm not sure how to say it. This one always gets me. His beloved ones, his holy ones, gather them to him, his saints, those who he cut a covenant with by sacrifice, Abraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov and Moshe and Aaron and Yahusha, son of Nun, and Solomon and David. The heavens shall declare his righteousness. Yahuah is a judge, and he will testify against us. He will not reprove those whom it was commanded to keep sacrifices and offerings continually before him. I won't take your bullock or your goats, for every beast of the field is mine. Yahuah says if he was hungry, he wouldn't tell us. Why would he? The world belongs to him. Will he eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Offer to Yahuah thanksgiving. Give him thanks, brothers and sisters, and praise, and pay your vows to him as a bride her bridegroom, and call upon him in that great day of trouble, and he will deliver you, and we will glorify him. And we don't need a sacrifice for sin. And why don't we need a sacrifice for sin anymore? Hebrews 10, 1 through 14. For the Torah is a shadow of good things to come, not the image of the things, and the annual cycle of those sacrifices which they offered perpetually, which can never consecrate those who attend thereto. For then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers, once purged, should have offered no more conscience of sins. But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away sins. And wherefore, when he came into the world, he said, sacrifice and offering you would have no delight, but a body have you prepared for me, and ascending smoke offerings and sacrifices for your sins you have had no pleasure. Then said I, Lo, I come. In the rolls of the Sefer it is written of me, to do your will, O Elohim. Above, when he said, sacrifice and offering, and ascending smoke offerings and offering for sin, you would have no delight, neither had pleasure therein, which are offered by the priestly regimen. Then said he, Lo, I come to do your will, O Elohim. He takes away the first, that he may be established to the second, by the which we are sanctified through the offering of the body of Yahushua HaMashiach once and for all. And every priest stands daily ministering and offering oftentimes the same sacrifices, which can never take away sin. But this man, after he had offered one sacrifice for sins forever, sat down on the right hand of Elohim, from henceforth expecting till his enemies be made his footstool. For by one offering he has perfected forever them that are sanctified. So, give me just a second. Okay, the Torah is a shadow of good things to come, brothers and sisters. His commandments are a foreshadowing. His Shabbat is a foreshadow of the eternal rest that we will receive one day. Each feast day has a shadow to it. They have such deep meaning to them, brothers and sisters, and it is a delight to do them. in an annual cycle that offered sacrifices perpetually, which could not consecrate them, but do they cease? Worshippers who have purged themselves. So this is talking about here, they kept doing sacrifices, even though they weren't doing it to actually atone anymore. They were just kind of doing it because they had to, and they thought it saved them by doing the sacrifice. So at that point, it was when it became an abomination. And then also by them doing that and not ceasing, it also brought to remembrance when the children were erring and sacrificing to Baal, and their children passing through the fires to Moloch, and all of these terrible things. So, anyways. So, it is not possible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away our sins. We were, and still are, we're beyond that. The sins of this earth are too grievous, and all the bulls and goats in the world could not save us. Only one can save us, and that is Yahushua HaMashiach, he who came in the world, as said the prophet, he who came in the world said, as the prophet said, in sacrifice and ascending smoke offering you delight not. Therefore you have prepared a body for me. We offer up our bodies as living sacrifices, and we lift up ascending smoke offerings with the fruit of our lips. Praise, for in their offering and sacrifices for sin you have had no pleasure. Do your will, Elohim, as it is written in the prophecies of our Messiah. Yahuah said that he had no delight in those who, even though they offered by the priestly regimen, he takes away the first, so that he may establish the second. He takes away those double-minded people who say that they belong to him, but behind closed doors they honor Baal and other false Elohim. They are taken away so that the true seed, the true remnant, can begin to be born. Those who sanctify themselves through the offering of Yahushua HaMashiach, the final offering for sin. But the priest keeps ministering and offering and sacrificing, which can never take away sins. And the Jews do it. The Christians do it. Here in Israel, temple sacrifice has began again. Catholicism has all different kinds of rites and rituals for forgiveness, paying penance, saying Hail Marys, saying other kinds of prayers to people who aren't the Most High or Yahushua HaMashiach. Yahushua was the final sacrifice for sin forever. And then he sat down on the right hand of his Father. By one offering, he has perfected them forever that are sanctified. And I want to make it very clear, too, we are not to be praying to anybody that is not Yahuah, the Most High, our Heavenly Father, or his Son, Yahushua HaMashiach. All right, moving forward to lines 4 through 6. Isaiah 66, 4 through 6. I will also choose their delusions, and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spoke, they did not hear. But they did evil before my eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. Hear the word of Yahuah, ye that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, Let Yahuah be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahuah that renders recompense to his enemies. Line 4. I will also choose their delusions, and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spoke, they did not hear. But they did evil before my eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. So, what if I told you that what's going on is not some new thing, the way that the world is? The degree of wickedness that we see, yeah, it's gotten worse. But it's nothing new. The children are wicked now, and they were wicked then. Just like back then, they didn't listen, and now they still don't listen. Remember, brothers and sisters, the people thought Noah was crazy. He preached about the flood for 120 years, and everybody thought that he was crazy. And in the end, only 8 people entered that ark, and they were all Noah's blood relatives. Everyone else perished. 2 Thessalonians 2, lines 7 through 13. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. Only he who now will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that lawless one be revealed, whom Yahuah shall consume with the ruach of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him whose coming is afar, is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness and of unrighteousness is in them that perish, because they receive not love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Elohim shall send strong delusion, that they shall believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. But we are bound to give thanks always to Elohim for you, brethren, beloved of Elohim, because Yah has from the beginning chosen you to Yeshua salvation through sanctification of the ruach and belief of the truth. And what is the truth, brothers and sisters? Psalms 119, 142, your righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and your Torah, your law, is the truth. Isaiah 28:12, to whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing, yet they would not hear. Hearing and doing the word is how we find that refreshing, that eternal rest that we will get in the New Jerusalem. Matthew 11:29 through 30. Take my yoke upon you and learn of me, for I am meek and lowly in heart, and ye shall find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Jeremiah 6:16. Thus says Yahuah, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the ancient paths. Where is the good way? And walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. But they said, we will not walk therein. And Enoch speaks about this. This is how we are to be separate from the heathens. We are not to be like them. We are created for righteousness. And this is also for those who deal wickedly and think that Yahuah doesn't see their works. He sees everything, brothers and sisters. Enoch 104, 1 through 12. I swear to you, righteous, that in heaven the angels record your goodness before the glory of Elohim. Wait with patient hope, for formerly you have been disgraced with evil and with affliction, but now shall you shine like the luminaries of heaven. You shall be seen, and the gates of heaven shall be opened unto you. Your cries have cried for judgment, and it has appeared to you, for an account of all your sufferings shall be required from the princes and from everyone who has assisted your plunders. Wait with patient hope, nor relinquish your confidence, for great joy shall be yours, like that of the angels in heaven. Conduct yourselves as you may. Still you shall not be concealed in the day of great judgment. You shall not be found like sinners, and eternal condemnation shall be far from you, so long as the world exists. And now fear not, righteous, when you see sinners flourishing and prosperous in their ways. Be not associates with them, but keep yourselves at a distance from their oppression. Be you associated with the host of heaven. You, sinners, say, all our transgressions shall not be taken account of and be recorded, but all your transgressions shall be recorded daily. And be assured by me that light and darkness, day and night, behold your transgressions. Be not impious in your thoughts, lie not, surrender not the word of uprightness, lie not against the word of the holy and El Elohim. Glorify not your idols, for your lying and all your impiety is not for righteousness, but for great crime. Now I point out a mystery. Many sinners shall turn and transgress against the word of uprightness. They shall speak evil things. They shall utter falsehood, and create a great creation, and compose sepharim in their own words. But when they shall write all my words correctly in their own languages, they shall neither change nor diminish them, but shall write them all correctly, all which from the first I have uttered concerning them. Another mystery also I point out. To the righteous and wise shall be given sepharim of joy and integrity and of great wisdom. To them shall sepharim be given, in which they shall believe, and in which they shall rejoice, and all the righteous shall be rewarded. Who from these shall acquire the knowledge of every upright path? In those days, says Yahuah, they shall call to the children of the earth, and make them listen to their wisdom. Show them that you are their leaders, and that remuneration shall take place over the whole earth. For I and my Son will forever hold communion with them in the paths of uprightness, while they are still alive. Peace shall be yours. Rejoice, children of integrity in the truth. So, let's compare this with something said in the book of Daniel, when Daniel is learning about that day. In Daniel 12:3 it says, and they the wise shall shine as the brightness of the expanse, and they that turn many to righteousness as the stars forever and ever. Those that are wise will shine and turn many to righteousness. Remember the wise and foolish virgins. The wise had their oil ready, and they waited on their Adonai, while the foolish had no oil. And by the time they got their oil, their Adonai had already came. They went and knocked on the door, and he told them to depart. He said, I don't know you. Depart. And let's also read Enoch 105:22-27. It says, Then I inquired of one of the holy angels who was with me, and said, What is splendid? For it is not heaven, but a flame of fire alone which blazes, and the clamor of exclamation, of woe, and of great suffering. He said, There into that place which you behold shall be thrust the ruach of sinners and blasphemers, and of those who shall do evil, and who shall pervert all which Elohim has spoken by the mouth of the prophets, all which they ought do this. For respecting these things there shall be writings and impressions above in heaven, that the angels may read them and know what shall happen to both to sinners and to the ruach of the humble, to those who have suffered in their bodies, but have been rewarded by Elohim, who have been injuriously treated by wicked men, who have loved Elohim, who have been attached neither to gold nor silver, nor to do any good thing in the world, but have given their bodies to torment, to those who from the period of their birth have not been covetous of earthly riches, but have regarded themselves as a breath passing away. Such has been their conduct, and much has Yahuah tried them, and their ruach have been found pure, that they might bless his name. And all their blessings have I related in a sefer, and he has rewarded them, for they have been found to love heaven with an everlasting aspiration. When they have been trodden down by wicked men, they have heard from the revelings and blasphemies, and have been ignominiously treated, while they were blessing me. And now will I call the ruach of the good from the generation of light, and will change those who have been born in darkness, who have not in their bodies been recompensed with glory, as their faith may have merited. I will bring them into the splendid light of those who love my holy name, and I will place each of them on a throne of glory his own, and they shall be at rest during unnumbered periods. Righteous is the judgment of Elohim. For to the faithful shall he give faith in the habitations of uprightness. They shall see those who have been born in darkness, and unto darkness shall be cast. While the righteous shall be at rest, sinners shall cry out, beholding them, while they exist in splendor and proceed forwards to the days and periods prescribed to them. Give me just a moment, guys. I need to go grab my glasses. All right, there we go. I could feel my eyes straining. All right, line 5, Isaiah 65:5. Hear the word of Yahuah, ye that tremble at his word. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out for my name's sake, said, Let Yahuah be glorified. But he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed. So let us take a look now at Messiah's word on this matter. Hear Yahuah and tremble at his word, meaning have a healthy fear of him. Though our brethren have hated us and cast us out for Yahuah's namesake, Yahuah will be glorified. And who is his namesake? Yahusha is. Let's hear Yahusha's words. John 15:18-20. If the world hate you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you. If ye were of the world would love his own. But because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hates you. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Adonai. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have guarded my word, they will guard yours also. The world hates us, but remember, it hated Messiah, the living Torah, long before it hated us. And if we were part of the world, the idolaters, the whoremongers, partaking in pagan feast days, then the world would love us as its own. But because Messiah came and he called us out of the world hates us. Remember, the servant is not greater than his master. If they persecuted Messiah, they will persecute us as well. If they have guarded Yahusha's word, they will guard ours also. That we are of Messiah, one body, faithful servants. Matthew 10:22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endures to the end shall be saved. Endure, brothers and sisters, endure your trials and tribulations in Messiah's name. All right, now we're going to go over lines 6 through 14 together. So we're going to read it first, and then we're going to go over it. So Isaiah 66, 6 through 14. A voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahuah that renders recompense to his enemies. Before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a male child. Who has heard such a thing? Who has seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? For as soon as Sion travailed, she brought forth her children. Shall I bring to birth and not cause to bring forth, says Yahuah? Shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb, says your Elohim? Rejoice ye with Yerushalayim, and be glad with her, all ye that love her. Rejoice for joy with her, all ye that mourn for her, that ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her constellations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory. For thus says Yahuah, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, and the glory of the other nations like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck and be borne upon her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. As one whom his mother comforts, so will I comfort you, and ye shall be comforted in Yerushalayim. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb, and the hand of Yahuah shall be known towards his servants, and his indignation towards his enemies. So, I want you to remember the term male child here. This is talking about the suddenness, the sudden waking up of Yahuah's children, and how everything after that seems to be progressing fairly quickly. It says, can a whole nation be brought forth at once? And the answer is yes, it can. Sion started travailing in her birthing pangs, and the children are coming forth very quickly. So where was I? As we get closer and closer to that day, the heat is really going to start getting turned up, especially towards us, brothers and sisters. And let's see how and why Yah woke us up so suddenly. And we're going to talk about the Revelation 12 sign once again. Revelation 12, 1 through 5 says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them down to earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a male child, who was able to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Elohim and to his throne. So I want you to remember again that phrase, male child. The last time this sign was seen in the sky was thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. This is not something that happens once like every 5 or 10 or 20 years, okay? This is something that happens once every few thousand years. The male child who would rule with a rod of iron is Messiah. This is also talking about us as well. We will also be ruling with a rod of iron, as I will show you in just a moment. The last time that this sign was fulfilled was recently in 2017. And during this year, a mass awakening happened. Many other brothers and sisters woke up around this time. If you happen to have woken up in the year 2017, go ahead and leave me a comment on this video. Where was I? And also, if you didn't, go ahead and leave me a comment with the year that you did wake up. I woke up during the year 2020. And I know that there was also another great mass awakening during the year 2020 as well. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Revelation 12 sign, I will link a couple videos in the description that explain it a little more in detail. In total, both videos will take you like, I don't know, 10-15 minutes. They're not very long at all. Psalms 2, 6 through 9. Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Sion. I will declare my decree. Yahuah has said unto me, You are my son. This day have I begotten you. Ask of me, and I shall give you the heathen for your inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron. You shall dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. As I said earlier, we will rule over the heathen at the end with a rod of iron. We will declare Yahuah's word and glory in the earth. Revelation 2, lines 26 through 29. And he that overcomes and guards my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken. This is quoting Psalms 2. This is Yahushua, our Messiah, quoting Psalms 2 in the book of Revelation. It says right here, and as the vessels of a potter they shall be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, and I will give him the morning star. He that has an ear, let him hear what the ruach says unto the called out assemblies. And Micah 5:3 and 7 through 9. Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travails has brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Yasharel, and the remnant of Yaakov shall be in the midst of many people, as a dew from Yahuah, as the showers upon the grass, that tarries not for man, nor waits for the sons of men. And the remnant of Yaakov shall be among the other nations, in the midst of many people, as a lion among the beasts of the forest, as a young lion among the flocks of the sheep, who, if he go through, both treads down and tears in pieces, and none can deliver. Your hand shall be lifted up upon your adversaries, and your enemies shall be cut off. It says, therefore, Yahuah will give them up to the adversary, until the time which she travails has brought forth the children, the remnant being reborn. They shall appear as dew from Yahuah, or as the showers upon the grass, the rains of blessings, the latter rain. They do not wait for the sons of men, and the remnant of Jacob shall be among the other nations as a lion among the beasts of the forest. We will be strong. Yahuah will give us his strength. He will tread and tear down into pieces our enemies, and none can deliver themselves. Your hand shall be lifted upon your adversaries, and your enemies cut off. Jeremiah 31 through 10. The word that came to Yahuah from Yahuah, saying, Thus speak Yahuah Elohai of Yasharel, saying, Write you all the words that I have spoken unto you in a sefer. For lo, the days come, says Yahuah, that I will bring again the captivity of my people, Yasharel and Yehudah, says Yahuah, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. And these are the words that Yahuah spoke concerning Yasharel and concerning Yehudah. For thus says Yahuah, We have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and of not of peace. Ask ye now, and see whether a man travails with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Yaakov's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. For it shall come to pass that in that day, says Yahuah Sabaoth, that I will break his yoke from off your neck, and will burst your bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. But they shall serve Yahuah Elohim, and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Therefore, fear you not, O my servant Yaakov, says Yahuah, neither be dismayed, O Yasharel. For lo, I will save you from afar, and your seed from the land of their captivity. And Yaakov shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. He said, a time will come again when he turns back the captivity of Judah and of Israel, Jacob, and he will bring them into a land to possess it. Yahuah says that he has, Yahuah says he has heard, he says that he has heard a voice of trembling and fear and not of peace. Does a man travail with child? He says, why do I see every male as a woman in travail with child grabbing onto his loins? The day is so great that there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but Jacob shall be saved out of it. In that day, Yahuah Sabaoth will break the yoke from upon your neck. I will burst your bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of their Adonai, but shall serve Yahuah and David his king. He said, fear not, neither be dismayed. All right. All right, we are almost done, you guys. Moving forward, we are going to go over now lines 15 through 18. Isaiah 66, 15 through 18. For behold, Yahuah will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahuah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahuah shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens, behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, says Yahuah. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. We're going to go over lines 15 and 16 together. It says, for behold, Yahuah will come with fire, with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will Yahuah plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahuah shall be many. So, what is all of this that is happening here? This can be confusing to most, which is why we need to use scriptures to interpret other scriptures. So let's get an idea of what is going to happen here. First, we're going to speak of a shadow that precedes that day. And this shadow is found in the book of Sirach, also called Ecclesiasticus. Sirach 48, 9 through 12. Who was taken up in a whirlwind of fire, and in a chariot of fiery horses, who were ordained for reproofs in their times, to pacify the wrath of Yahuah's judgment, before it broke forth into fury, and to turn the heart of the father unto the son, and to restore the tribes of Yaakov. Blessed are they that saw you, and slept in love, for we shall surely live. Eliyahu, it was who was covered with a whirlwind, and Elisha was filled with his ruach. When he lived, he was not moved with the presence of any prince, neither could any bring him into subjection. So Yahuah is speaking of the prophet Elijah. And it is said in the book of Kings that Yahuah took Elijah to heaven in a whirlwind of fire and a chariot of fiery horses, who were ordered for reproofs in their time to pacify the wrath of Yahuah's judgment before it broke forth into fury. And this is talking about the spirit of Elijah returning to turn the heart of the father unto the son and restore the tribes of Jacob. Remember, we read in Jubilees, it says that the sons will start convicting their fathers. Where was I? Where was I? Dang it. Blessed are they who saw the prophet Elijah. He performed many miracles, and they sleep in love now, and they shall surely live. Elijah was covered by Yahuah's whirlwind, and Elisha, another prophet who Elijah guided and gave instruction to, was filled with the ruach of Elijah, and upon his departure to heaven. And before the Messiah came, it was prophesied that the spirit of Elijah would come and herald the king, and it came through John the Baptist. What's happened before will happen again, brothers and sisters. Before Yahushua returns a second time, the spirit of Elijah will come to herald his coming, and it is widely believed that this will happen during Passover or the Feast of Unleavened Bread. All right, next is Enoch 55, 1 through 12. Afterward, the Ancient of Days sighed and said, in vain I have destroyed the inhabitants of the earth. And he swore by his great name, henceforward I will not act thus towards all those who dwell upon the earth, but I will place a sign in the heaven, and it shall be a faithful witness between me and them forever, as long as the days of heaven and earth last upon the earth. Afterwards, according to this my decree, when I shall be disposed to seize them beforehand, by the instrumentality of the angels, in the day of affliction and trouble, my wrath and my punishment shall remain upon them. My punishment and my wrath, says Elohim Yahuah Sabaoth. O you kings, O you mighty, who inhabit the world, you should behold my elect one, sitting upon the throne of my glory, and he shall judge Azazel and all his associates and all his hosts in the name of Yahuah Sabaoth. There, likewise, I beheld the host of the angels who were moving in punishment, confined in a network of iron and brass. Then I inquired of the angel of peace, who proceeded with me, to whom those under confinement were going. He said, to each of their elect and beloved, that they must be cast into the fountains and deep recesses of the valley, And the valley shall be filled with their elect and beloved, and the days of whose life shall be consumed, but the days of their error shall be innumerable. Then shall angels combine together and conspire. The chiefs of the east among the Parthians, the Parthians and the Medes shall remove kings, in whom a ruach of perturbation shall enter. They shall hurl them from their thrones, springing as lions from their dens, and like famished wolves into the midst of the flock. They shall go up and tread upon the land of their elect. The land of their elect shall be before them. The threshing floor, the path, and the city of my righteous shall impede their horses. They shall rise up to destroy each other. Their right hand shall be strengthened. Nor shall a man acknowledge his friend or his brother, nor the son of his father and his mother, until the number of the dead bodies and their death and punishment. Neither shall this take place without cause. In those days shall the mouth of Sheol be opened, into which they shall be emerged. Sheol shall destroy and swallow up sinners from the face of the elect. So, talking about that day, he said, in vain I have destroyed the inhabitants of the earth. And he's speaking about the flood. He swore by his great name that henceforth he would not act that way towards those who dwell on the earth. But he will place a sign in the heavens, and it shall be a faithful witness between us and Yah forever, as long as the days of heaven and earth last upon the earth. Talking about the rainbow, the sign of Yahuah's eternal covenant. And afterwards he shall be disposed to seize them with the instruments of his angels in the day of affliction and trouble. His wrath and his punishment shall remain upon them in those days, says Yahuah. And all the mighty and all the inhabitants of the earth shall behold his elect one, Yahushua HaMashiach, and he shall judge Azazel and his associates. And for those who don't know, who don't know who Azazel is, he is the ringleader who led the angels to mix with humans. Pretty much he is basically Satan. Even though Satan literally means rebel, and all of the fallen angels are rebels. That's another conversation for another day, but he is basically who we know as Satan. He is public enemy number 1. And there were angels who were moving, and they are being held in punishment right now, confined in a network of iron and brass. And then there is war, spiritual warfare, the elect being trodden down, taken captive by Satan, outcasts. But Yahuah will cause them to kill each other. He will confuse them, and they shall slay each other, and they won't even know what's happening. And in that day, Sheol shall open up her mouth, and they shall be emerged, and Sheol shall swallow up the sinners from in front of the elect. Also, Enoch 56, 1-6. After this I beheld another army of chariots with men riding in them, and they came upon the wind from the east, and from the west, and from the south. The sound of the noise of their chariots was heard, and when the agitation took place, the Kodashim out of heaven perceived it. The pillar of the earth shook from its foundation, and the sound was heard from the extremities of the earth unto the extremities of heaven at the same time. And they all fell down and worshipped Yahuah Sabaoth. This is the end of the second parable. So, next, Enoch beheld the army of chariots with men riding in them. And I truly feel like this is the 144,000, who I believe are men that are numbered for war. Now, I could be wrong, but the conviction that I have on this, based on the studying and praying that I've done, my conviction on this is pretty strong. And the sound of the chariots was heard, and the Kodashim out of heaven perceived it. They understood what they saw. And the earth shook from its foundation, and the sound was heard from one end of the earth to the other, unto the extremities of heaven as well. And they fell down, and they worshipped Yahuah Sabaoth. Revelation 9:9. They had breastplates, as it were, the breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots, of many horses running to battle. This chapter is actually talking about the plagues being poured out onto those who are not sealed by Elohim in their foreheads. And this specific verse was talking about locusts. The locusts are flying through the air, and it will sound like horse chariots that are running into battle. We're going to go over lines 17 and 18 together as well. Isaiah 66:17 and 18 say, "They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the garden behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh, and the abomination and the mouse shall be consumed together, says Yahuah. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all the nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory. So they that sanctify themselves in the gardens and behind the trees, who eat swine's flesh and the mouse, those people are going to be consumed. And once again, brothers and sisters, it is not a coincidence. It is no coincidence at all that he specifically mentioned that when he talked about he's going to destroy people, he specifically mentioned people who are eating pork. All nations and all tongues shall come together and see Yahuah's glory, and behold his elect one, Yahushua HaMashiach. Isaiah 1, 28 through 29. And the destruction of the transgression and of the sinners shall be together, and they that forsake Yahuah shall be consumed. For they shall be ashamed of the oaks which ye have desired, and ye shall be confounded for the gardens that ye have chosen. Deuteronomy 14, 3 through 8. You shall not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which ye shall eat: the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the deer, and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pygarg, and the wild ox, and the chamois, I'm not sure what that is, and every beast that parts the hoof, and cleaves the cleft into two claws, and chews the cud among the beasts, that ye shall eat. Nevertheless, these ye shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney, for they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore they are unclean to you. And the swine, because it divides the hoof, yet it chews not the cud, it is unclean to you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. And last week we read in Leviticus. This week we're reading in Deuteronomy. Next, let's read Isaiah 2, lines 2 through 3. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountains of Yahuah's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. And many people shall go and say, Come ye, let us go up to the mountain of Yahuah, to the house of the Elohai of Yaakov, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Sion shall go forth the Torah, and the word of Yahuah from Yerushalayim. In Psalms 89, 6 through 7, For who in heaven can be compared unto Yahuah? Who among the sons of the mighty can be likened unto Yahuah? El is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the Kodashim, and to be had in reverence of all of them that are about him. Fear him, brothers and sisters. Have a healthy fear of him. And I don't just mean to actually fear him, but also reverence him, marvel at him, love him, respect him. Revelation 2:13. I know your works, and where you dwell, and even where Satan's seat is. You hold fast my name, and have not denied my faith, even in those days wherein Antipas was my faithful martyr, who was slain among you where Satan dwells. Revelation 2:2. I know your works, and your labor, and your patience, and how you cannot bear them which are evil, and you have tried them which say they are apostles and are not, and have found them liars. This is talking about the Kodashim having to endure Satan and his evil followers, who hold fast to the name of Messiah and are patient, waiting for his return, waiting for Yahuah's salvation. Those who cannot bear them which are evil, we can't bear to be near them. It's so awful how evil they are, and that we can't even bear to come near them. They are false apostles and false prophets and false messiahs. 2 Corinthians 4, lines 4 through 6. In whom the El of this world, El lowercase e, the El of this world, which is Satan, has blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious Besorah, the gospel of Mashiach, who is the image of Elohim, should shine unto them. For we preach not ourselves, but Mashiach Yahusha our Adonai, and ourselves your servants, for Yahusha's sake. For Elohim, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, has shined in our hearts to give the light of knowledge of the glory of Elohim in the face of Yahushua HaMashiach. The El of this world, Satan, has blinded the minds of those who don't believe, unless the light of the Besorah of Mashiach, the gospel of our Messiah, who is the image of Elohim. He stands for what Elohim stands for, and he represents what Elohim represents, should shine unto them. We don't preach for ourselves, says Paul, but for Yahusha's sake. We are his servants. Elohim commanded light to go forth and to shine out of darkness, and he has shined his light into our hearts to give us the light of knowledge of the glory of Elohim and the face of Yahushua HaMashiach. Remember last week we talked about how Yahusha told his disciples, he said that if you have seen me, you have also seen the Father. Romans 15, 8 through 12. Now I say that Yahushua HaMashiach was a minister of the circumcision for the truth of Elohim, to confirm the promises made unto the fathers, and that the other people might glorify Elohim for his mercy, as it is written, For this cause I will confess to you among the other nations, and sing unto your name. And again he says, Rejoice, ye nations, and with his people. And again, Hallelujah, Yahuah, Hallelujah, Yahuah, all ye nations, and praise him, and all ye people. And again, Yeshayahu, Isaiah, says, There shall be a root of Yeshi that shall rise to reign over the other nations. In him shall the other nations trust. And this is basically everything that we have read throughout this entire series so far, basically summarized by Paul. Romans 16, 25 through 26. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my Besorah, and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach according to the revelation of mystery, which was kept secret since the world began, but now is made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting Elohim, made known to all the nations for the obedience of faith. Listen to this very carefully, brothers and sisters. To him that is of power to establish yourself according to the Besorah, the gospel, and the preaching of Yahusha, according to the revelation that was kept secret since the world began, but is now made manifest, and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting Elohim, he was made known to all the nations for the obedience by faith, hearing and doing, emunah. Okay, now we are going to do lines 19 and 20 together as well, and then we will be on to the last 4 lines, and we are finished, you guys. So Isaiah 66, 19 through 20. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to the Tarshish, Pool, and Ludi, that draw the bow to Tubal and Yavan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard of my fame, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the other nations, and they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yahuah out of the nations upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Yerushalayim, says Yahuah, as the children of Yasharel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahuah. Now, this is where we've talked about before, the remnant being gathered and given a mission and then sent back out into the world. And let's talk more about this really quickly. Luke 21:36. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Adam. That's a pretty good place to start things. Isaiah 11, 11 through 12. And it shall come to pass in that day that Adonai shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Ashur, and from Mizraim, and from Pathrock, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Yasharel, and gather the dispersed of Yehudah from the 4 corners of the earth. On that day Yahuah will set his hand, Yahusha, the hand, a second time, to gather the remnant of his people, which shall be left of the nations, who come out of the great tribulation, making their robes white, from the 4 corners of the earth, every nation, kindred, and tongue. And here we are going to see it again. Rise up a banner, sound the alarm, brothers and sisters. We are also going to see that multitude again. Isaiah 13, 2 through 10. Lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for anger. even them that rejoice in my highness, the noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of the nations gathered together. Yahuah Sebaoth musters the host of the battle. They come from a far country, from the end of heaven, even Yahuah and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Howl ye, for the day of Yahuah is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from El Shaddai. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's heart shall melt, and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them, and they shall be in pain as a woman that travails, and they shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. Behold, the day of Yahuah comes, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners there out of it. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And we can directly compare this with Revelation, actually, but for time's sake I'm not going to. Isaiah 18:3. All ye inhabitants of the world and dwellers on the earth, see ye, when he lifts up an ensign on the mountains, and when he blows a shofar, hear ye. When the ensign is lifted up and the shofar is blown, the alarm is sounded, and it says, all the inhabitants of the earth, hear ye. This is the last trumpet, you guys. Isaiah 30:16-18. But ye said, no, for we will flee upon horses, therefore shall ye flee, and will ride upon the swift, and therefore shall they that pursue you be swift. 1,000 shall flee at the rebuke of one, and at the rebuke of 5 shall ye flee, till ye be left as a beacon upon the top of a mountain, and as an ensign on a hill. And therefore Yahuah will wait, that he may be gracious unto you, and therefore will he be exalted, and that he may have mercy upon you. For Yahuah is an Elohai of judgment, and blessed are all they that wait for him. Isaiah 49:22. Thus says Adonai Yahuah, behold, I will lift up my hand to the other nations, and set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring your sons in their arms, and your daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. And Jeremiah 4:1-22. If you will return, O Yasharel, says Yahuah, return unto me, and if you will put away your abominations out of my sight, then shall you not remove, and you shall swear, Yahuah lives in truth, in judgment, and in righteousness, and the nations shall bless themselves in him, and in him and in him shall they glory. For thus says Yahuah to the men of Yehudah and Yerushalayim, break up your fallow ground, and sow not among the thorns. Circumcise yourselves to Yahuah, and take away the foreskins of your heart, ye men of Yehudah and inhabitants of Yerushalayim, lest my fury come forth like fire, and burn that none can quench it. Because of the evil of your doings, declare ye in Yehudah, and publish in Yerushalayim, and say, blow ye the shofar in the land, cry, gather together, and say, assemble yourselves, and let us go into the land, into the defense cities, and set up a standard towards Sion. Retire, stay not, for I will bring evil from the north, and a great destruction. The lion is come up from his thicket, and the destroyer of the other nations is on his way. He is gone forth from his place to make your land desolate, and your cities shall be laid waste without an inhabitant. For this gird you with sackcloth, lament and howl, for the fierce anger of Yahuah is not turned back from us. And it shall come to pass at that day, says Yahuah, that the heart of the king shall perish, and the heart of the princes and the priests shall be astonished, and the prophets shall wonder. Then said I, Adonai Yahuah, surely you have greatly deceived this people, and Yerushalayim, saying, ye shall have peace, whereas the sword reaches unto the soul. At that time shall it be said unto this people, and to Yerushalayim, a dry wind of the high places in the wilderness toward the daughter of my people, not to fan, nor to cleanse, even a full wind from those places shall come unto me. And now also will I give a sentence against them. Behold, he shall come up as clouds, and his chariot shall be as a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. Woe unto us, for we are spoiled. O Yerushalayim, wash your heart from wickedness, that you may be saved. How long shall your vain thoughts lodge with you? For a voice declares from Dan, and publishes affliction from Mount Ephraim. Make ye mention to the nations. Behold, publish against Yerushalayim, that Nazarene come from a far country, and give out their voice against the cities of Yehudah, as keepers of a field, and they are against her round about, because she has been rebellious against me, says Yahuah. Your way and your doings have procured these things unto you. This is your wickedness, because it is bitter, because it reaches unto your heart. My bowels, I am pained at my very heart. My heart makes a noise in me. I cannot hold my peace, because you have heard, O my soul, the sound of the shofar, the alarm of war. Destruction upon destruction is cried, for the whole land is spoiled. Suddenly my tents are spoiled, and my curtains in a moment. How long shall I see the standard, and hear the sound of the shofar? For my people are foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have no understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. All right. Lastly, we are going over lines 21 through 24. This should be pretty quick. Isaiah 66, 21 through 24. And I will also take of them for priests and for Leviim, says Yahuah. For as the renewed heavens and the renewed earth, which I will make, shall remain before me, says Yahuah, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from new moon to his new moon, and from Shabbat to his Shabbat, shall all flesh come to worship before me, says Yahuah. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of men that have transgressed against me. For the worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. So, of these people, he is going to bring to him and send back out. He is going to make priests and Levites. We will one day be priests of Yahuah, brothers and sisters, ministering his word. The renewed heavens and the renewed earth shall remain, and it shall come that from new moon to his new moon, and from Shabbat to his Shabbat, all flesh will come to worship before him. The restoring of the order of things. Yah is going to come, and he is going to set things straight amongst his people once and for all. Remember last week we read about how he said, I despise your new moons and your feast days and your Shabbats, because they weren't honoring these things properly. They added in their own traditions and commands. They celebrated these holy days because they had to, not because it was a delight to them, and they couldn't wait for the feast days and the Shabbats to pass so they could buy and sell and resume their worldly lives of sin. And when Yah restores his order, we shall see what became of those who disobeyed. We will see their dead carcasses scattered about the ground, and they will be tormented with fire. And we will also see them in their true form before they die. And a lot of people say that New Jerusalem comes down at the very end of things, but I'm going to show you a couple passages that show us that the New Jerusalem comes down at the beginning of the day of Yahuah. It is here while the other nations are still dwelling on earth. Isaiah 60, 12 through 14. For the nation and kingdom that will not serve you shall perish. Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. The glory of Lebanon shall come unto you, the fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary. And I will make the place of my feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted you shall come bending unto you, and they that despised you shall bow themselves down at the soles of your feet. And they shall call you the city of Yahuah, the Sion of the Holy One of Yasharah. The other nations will be made to see the glory of the Kodeshim that Yahuah receives. They will behold the glory of Yahuah's kingdom, and they will behold his elect one, Yahushua HaMashiach. And Revelation also tells us that the New Jerusalem is on earth while the other nations are still alive. Revelation 22, 14 through 15. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For without, this is outside of the gates, are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loves and makes a lie. In Zechariah 14, 16 through 19. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left of all the nations which came against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, Yahuah Sabaoth, and keep the feast of Sukkot. And it shall be that whoso will not come up from all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, Yahuah Sabaoth, even upon them shall be no rain. And if the family of Mitzrayim go not up and come not, then they have no rain. And there shall be the plague, wherewith Yahuah will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of Sukkot. This shall be the punishment of Mitzrayim, and the punishment of all nations that come not up to keep the feast of Sukkot. So, everyone who survives the tribulation, who has been given a final chance to repent, will be given the opportunity to go up to Yahuah's holy mountain and to keep the feast of Sukkot, the feast of tabernacles. And if you don't come up to keep the feast, Yahuah will stop the rain in your land, and there shall be plague and famine, and Yahuah will smite the heathen who does not come up to his holy mountain to keep the feast of Sukkot. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Yahudim, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet, and to know that I have loved you. Those who say that they are Jews of the house of Judah, please do remember that, brothers and sisters, that the Jews are only of the house of Judah. It was a shortened name for them, that there are still 11 other tribes, those who call themselves his people, but aren't. Those who are double-minded, Yahushua will make you of the synagogue of Satan, and they will know that Yahuah has loved those who they have rejected. Isaiah 45:19. I have not spoken in secret, in a dark place of the earth. I said not unto the seed of Jacob, seek me in vain. I, Yahuah, speak righteousness. I declare things that are right. Yahuah has not spoken in secret or in some dark place. Remember, we read last week in Deuteronomy, Yahuah said that the word isn't far off from you in heaven. You shall say, who shall go up and get it from us in heaven and bring it back down? And neither is it across the seas, that you should say, well, who shall go across and get it for us? But it is near to you, even in your mouth and in your heart, to do them. Yahuah speaks righteousness, and he declares right things. Isaiah 49:23. I have sworn by myself, the word is gone out of my mouth in righteousness, and shall not return, that unto me every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall swear. Yahuah has sworn these things to happen. It has proceeded from his mouth in righteousness, and his word shall not return to him unfulfilled. Every knee, until every knee bows, and every tongue confesses his name, Yahuah Sebaoth. And there is one last video that I'm going to link in the description that it's a video that further breaks down what I am talking about, how the kingdom comes down at the beginning of that day. And it's on a channel called Kingdom in Context, and it talks about Revelation 21 lines 1 through 2. It's not a very long video. It's like 30-ish minutes. I do highly suggest giving it your time. So, all right, that is it, guys. We have officially finished the Isaiah series, and it's actually kind of sad. I've really enjoyed studying this book with you guys so much. I truly hope that this series I did help break down these books and give you a new or maybe a better understanding of what is being said here. I pray I helped you understand that the book is a warning to the end times generation. These prophecies are being fulfilled right before our eyes. We are the fig tree generation, brothers and sisters. I truly believe that with all of my heart. All right. So next week begins my brief break that I am taking. At the shortest, I won't be back for about a month. I highly recommend joining my Facebook group if you would like to keep up with me during that time frame. That is where I will mostly be. And I will see you guys back soon, and get ready for some more pretty intense studies when I return. I cannot wait. I look forward to it. Let's go ahead and close up with a prayer, guys. Yahuah, I cannot begin to thank you enough. Thank you so much for the conviction that you gave me to speak on this book, to share your truth with the world. I pray that you send your ruach to my viewers, Yahuah. May their hearts be humbled and their spirits be contrite. And lift the ruach of deep sleep, that their eyes and ears may be opened. And let them find understanding in their hearts, Abba. And if they hear you calling, I pray that they answer your call. Guide them in instruction. In Yahushua's name we pray. Amen. All right. Well, that concludes our series. I will see you guys back in about a month. Keep up to date with me on Facebook. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat, and Shalom, you guys.